All right. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It is Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here for another Sunday of, you've guessed it, Success Started series. Y'all know we go live each and every Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about different topics that are all around the ultimate topic of helping you to get your week up for success. Because in getting your week set up for success, we're hoping to get your life set up for success. And as your productivity and accountability coach, I'm all about helping you to find that hidden time in your day, time that you can use to pour back into yourself as you pursue your goals, your purpose, your life passions, and all the things while still maintaining your current responsibilities. So as we dive in, as we have this conversation and continue to journey through this, we're going to be talking today about eliminating time wasters, but we're going to be talking about the cross between resetting and mastering your habits so that you can cut out those time wasters, and the cross between that and cutting the noise in order to crush your day, which really goes all into the same thing. Because I don't know about y'all, but did y'all blink and you trying to figure out when and where we made it to this point in this time in the month of October? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm pretty sure and I'm pretty positive that October just started, but yet and still, it's October 20th. Houseway. When, where, and how did that happen? And so I know for me, the plan that I created coming into this month and coming into this quarter isn't the reality of where we are now. And so I actually spent some time this weekend resetting, resetting my month, resetting my quarter, and understanding that what my capacity might look like based off of things that I now know now that are going to be scheduled ending through finishing out this year and coming into next year, and how I'm going to show up in spite of that and in light of that. And when we think about where is our time going, what are we using our time for, and how is it that we can go about doing these things and doing this work, I want to talk about and want to look at how, if we can cut through the noise. And the noise often comes about in the way of distractions, things that are impeding your time and that could be considered time wasters and things like that. But if we're able to cut through those things and instead get to the things that really matter, we'll be in the best position to show up, to win the day, to win the week, to win the month, to win this quarter, and to do what I set out to do coming into this quarter, finishing the year out strong. It's not too late, no matter how your month has been, no matter how your year has been, to make the decision and make that commitment to finish strong. And so today I want to talk about how you essentially can do your own version of a reset. And in doing that, allowing that to be the catalyst, I guess you can say, that you need to go about showing up and being able to have what it is you're looking to have as we journey through this month and through this quarter. And so when I think about this idea of this, like, resetting and refocusing, getting back consistent or reestablishing consistency, and like letting go of these distractions, I want to start first with talking about that routine. Everything that we do comes back to, in some way, shape, or form, a routine. So if you see that this next month, this next season, this next X, Y, and Z time frame is going to be busy, how does that busyness fit into your idea of your routine? How does it fit into your actual routine that you have that governs you as you go through and go, that yes, you go into and go through life, the weeks and days. And so if you see that the capacity, whether that be the mental capacity, the physical capacity, that emotional capacity, that time capacity, isn't going to be what it normally looks like, let's reframe, let's reset. Let's reset your routine so that you can identify what habits matter most to you. Because if your capacity is going to be limited, that means you don't have the time, the space, the resources, the energy, all of that to exert at your normal. You have to establish what the new normal is for this season. And so if you look at it and understand this is what the new normal is for this season, and this is what my capacity is for this season, what habits are non-negotiables that will fit within this capacity? Because if something's got to give, you have to understand, what is the thing that I'm willing to give up? What is the thing that I'm willing to say no to or to limit in order for me to still be able to show up in this way and in this area and in this capacity? So what does that look like for you? Take some time and spend some time writing down and understanding that if nothing else happens in any given day, what are the things that you have to get done? And when I say what things do you have to get done, some things might not be daily things. For me, that thing is my workout and my walk. And I get that those things might not necessarily move things forward. But for me, that's my grounding. That's my centering. That's my peace of mind. So that when I'm frustrated, when I'm upset, when I'm anxious, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm feeling the potentials of stress, my workout and my walk are what bring me down. They reground me. They recenter me. And so when you start thinking about what are your non-negotiables, they might not be things that you do every day. So like every week, I do a brain dump and I make a to-do list. So that's a non-negotiable that doesn't necessarily happen every day, but that's something that happens every week. And so when we start setting our weeks up, which is why I'm always telling you to do your brain dump and make your to-do list, because you're able to look at just the next 7 days in front of you and decide, what is my capacity? Where does my energy need to go? What do I need to do in these next 7 days to make progress, to be consistent, to show up? Where do I need to show up? Where am I going to show up? And how am I going to show up in those areas? And by doing that brain dump and making that to-do list, you're able to decide what habits this week are the important ones and that you're committing to in this week based off of your capacity, based off what's going on. Because once you understand that, you're then going to be able to make these small shifts. Because when it comes to looking at and understanding your habits and understanding that at some time something is going to have to give, and understanding what that thing is that's going to give, you have to be willing and able to let go of some things, say no to some things, shut some things off, and all of that. So when it comes to the idea and the concept of consistency, because that's still my word for the year, what are some things that you can do that will help you to make these small and consistent changes that will, as a result, be long lasting and help you to show up and to still be consistent? Because when you look at and you understand that in resetting your routine and in deciding that these are the things that matter most and that I'm committing to, that's then as a result helping you to build consistency. Because in you committing to something, you're deciding to be consistent in that thing. But by understanding that if in this season my capacity is limited, and the reality is no matter what the season is, our capacity is always limited because we can't do all the things. It's just the number of things that we might potentially be able to do might grow or shrink depending on these other outside factors. And so when it comes to making these small and consistent changes, you have to decide on a week-to-week and a day-to-day basis, what am I committing to in this time frame? By doing these goals and making these plans for the month, you might sometimes have to come back and do that pivot work to reestablish what that's going to look like on this week-to-week basis. And as a result of the week-to-week basis, this day-to-day basis. So by you being willing to make these small and consistent changes and deciding what it is that you're willing to commit to, you're as a result going to be able to be consistent because you've identified what habits and routines matter most in this season. And so each of these things builds off of each other. When it comes to resetting and cutting out those things that are wasting your time, if you build these layers by, like I said, resetting your routines and understanding what habits and what things are most important, you're then going to be able to commit to them. And as a result of committing to them, you're going to be able to stay consistent in them. And as a result of that, you're going to then eliminate those distractions. You're going to eliminate those things that are wasting your time, your energy, and your resources, and the capacity that you don't have in this season. So what does that mean, and what does that look like for you as you show up and as you journey through and go through each day and each week as we go through this process? Because you have to decide that in and with cutting out distractions, that's going to help you to ultimately be more efficient, more effective in the routines and in the habits that you're building. And so if you can decide that this is what matters most to me in this season, these are the routines and these are the habits that I'm focusing on, you're going to then be committed to those things. And as a result of you being committed to those things, you're going to stay consistent in those things. And if you stay consistent in those things and committed to them, when things that come up that aren't in alignment with this is where my focus is going to be, you're going to cut it out. You're not going to allow yourself to be distracted by the things that aren't important. Because if it's not important to you, why are you focusing on it? You can't say that you want this, that, or the third in life and say that this is where my focus is going to be if you're then as a result or then in spite of that doing something else. So if you know that in this season, in this moment, in this phase, in this day, in this week, in this month, for the rest of this year, here are my priorities. These are the habits that I'm committing to. This is where I'm looking to be consistent. You're going to build routines that are around those things. And if you have the routines that are around those things, you're not going to be distracted by all these other things. There's always something that's going to be there that can distract us and will distract you if you allow it to. But if you're so tunnel vision and so focused on the things that you've decided are your priorities in this season, in this moment, in this time, you're not going to allow those other things to distract you. It's like when you say that you want to eat healthy, you want to work out, but yet and still you're showing up for every party where there's cake and alcohol and all the things that aren't in alignment with what it is you say that you want. It's like if you say that you want to be consistent, but yet and still you allow every minor inconvenience to be a distraction to you. It's like you saying, I want to wake up early, but yet and still you staying up each and every night till after midnight and wondering why when that alarm goes off, you press the snooze and can't get up. Whatever it is, in whatever area of life you're looking at and you're thinking about, you have to decide how you're going to show up. You have to decide how you're going to govern yourself. You have to decide what this means and what this looks like for you in that thing. So when it comes to crushing your day, when it comes to eliminating the time wasters, those energy wasters, when it comes to you resetting and being able to master your habits, you have to cut out the things that are wasting your time. You have to cut out the things that are distracting you. You have to cut out and eliminate those things that aren't in alignment with where it is you're going in this season and what it is that you're looking to do in this moment. We got limited capacity. And even with life not liking on the outside, just as a general practical matter, the end of the year is often a busy time because of the holidays that are wrapped up in there and spending time with family, traveling, all the things. And because of the natural progression of the end of the year, and even with time changing because of the fact that it's dark earlier and later, however you want to look at it, like it's dark earlier in the morning and it gets dark earlier at night, that often in some ways limits your time or your exposure to the outside world. So the things that you might be looking to do. So like, oh, I want to go walking after work. Well, it's dark as soon as I get home. Am I going to really do that? And because it's dark when I get home, the sun's not out. And because the temperature change, it might be colder. And so when we think about and we talk about what is it that you're focusing on in this season, you have to take all those things into consideration. Some of them are things you honestly might not even think about because it hasn't really affected you or it's not something that you're looking to do. Like this morning when I woke up, I typically run in the morning before church. But now, even though time doesn't change for 2 more weeks, obviously it's starting to be darker. So I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking about, oh, it's a little chilly outside and it's dark outside still. So I don't even have like the sun necessarily to warm me up. Let me still get up and go run. I walked out the door. I saw that it was like right at 70 or 71 degrees. I walked outside and because there was no sun, that 71 felt a little chilly. I walked outside in shorts and this shirt. I was like, let me go back in the house and put some more clothes on. So I went back in the house and put on like capris to run in. And then went out and did my run. And even as I was running with the short sleeve shirt on, I was kind of like, I wish I had a little bit more on my arms. And so that's something that I need to take into account and think about in the coming weeks as I prepare to go run. It's going to be dark out. It's going to be cooler. And because it's also dark out, I don't even have the fact of, 5-10 minutes into my run, I'm going to be warmed up and I'm going to be hot, so to speak, and I'll be fine. Nah, it's going to be chilly this whole run. And so as you make these plans on what habits do you need to reset in this routine, you need to take all those random and miscellaneous things into consideration. Your capacity, generally speaking, is going to be limited at the end of the year because of the holidays. And because of that, your capacity is going to be limited, which means you're trying to do more stuff in less time oftentimes because of the holidays and all the things. Like, you have less working days, whether that be because the office is closed, because you want to take off the travel, but whatever the reason might be, other people are also having these things happen. So your capacity and your ability to be there and do all these things for these other people is going to be affected, and it's going to be limited. So in what ways can you identify what is the most important thing or things as you end out this year? In the next 60, just under 75-ish days in the year, what are your focuses and what are your priorities? Utilize that to understand and decide what are you committing to as you finish out this year. And in understanding what it is that you're committing to, you can then decide what you're eliminating. What things might suck your time, your energy, your resources, your capacity that you're going to say no to so that you can stay focused and be effective with the habits and the routine and the consistent actions that you're taking. You have to decide what that looks like and what that means for you. You have to decide and understand what that means for you as you go through and as you journey through this month. Because no matter if your days are being filled, no matter if the distractions are popping up, no matter if you're feeling unsure or overwhelmed, it's on you to decide to research your routine, to make these small, consistent changes. It's on you to cut out and eliminate the distractions that are keeping you from being the person that you're looking to be as you go through and finish out this year. And so if you're committed to finishing 2024 out strong, I want you to let me know below. If you're looking to do these things, to reset the routines, to be consistent, to cut out the distractions, but you're not really sure how to do it alone, you don't have to. You can comment the word reset below or send me a message with the word reset, and let's start a conversation about what it will look like for you to have that support to help you to master your time. What would a schedule that is customized to you look like so you can understand what your capacity is in this season? We can work together to build out this schedule to help you to have that thing that's going to help you to thrive as you finish out this year, which will also set the groundwork and the foundation for 2025 for you to launch from. But no matter where it is you are on this process, in this continuum, if it's one aspect, if it's both aspects, if it's all three aspects, help is possible, change is possible, but you have to decide that the habits that you've had haven't been working for you, and as a result you're ready to create and build habits that will work for you. And in doing so, it doesn't have to be a complete overhaul. It can be those small changes that allow you to be consistent and to show up. It can be just a matter of understanding what are the distractors in your life and how can we go about eliminating those so that you can stay focused on the things that matters in this season. If you're looking for that type of support, that type of accountability, or even to learn more about that, comment or send me the word reset and we can have a conversation. I want you to prepare for this week. I want you to spend some time doing your brain dump, making your to-do list, cut the noise. Because in cutting the noise, we can crush the day. It's time for you to master your time. It's time for you to reset and to understand, in doing this reset, what habits do you want to master? Do you need to master? And how can you do that in a way that helps you to cut out the things that are distracting you and wasting your time? As your productivity and accountability coach, I'm all about helping you to find that hidden time in your day, time that you can utilize because you've cut out those time wastes. You've eliminated the distractions. You know what it is you're focusing on, and you can utilize that time to go about and to do those things. So until next week, and I missed you guys last week, it's been Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach, here for another Sunday in the Success Starter series, where we talk all about different topics that will help you to set your week and set your life up for success. We talked today about resetting and mastering your habits through resetting your routines, incorporating and building those small, consistent changes that helps you to be consistent, and cutting and eliminating those time wastes and those distractors. Utilize these 3 tips to take you through the rest of this month, to reset this month, and to get you through the end of the year and Q4. Until next week, guys, it's been Coach Lee, your productivity and accountability coach. Coach Lee is out.